thing with DSLRs. They're great, but if you come from the news world where video cameras reign supreme, they're very much not what you're used to, and they certainly weren't for me. The truth is that a DSLR is going to slow you down getting B-roll, especially when trying to follow action, because the autofocus is much more precise than a video camera and it takes a second to pull that focus. This is because DSLR cameras, as well as mirrorless cameras, are made of still photography technology, meant to freeze a single frame of time, not capture 30 frames a second like video. Layer on top of that the need to have soft, nice bokeh, otherwise known as a softer background in still photography, and you've added another complication to the camera, because the technology to pull this off is complex, and it's all in the lenses. It's why the lenses are so big. It's all the layers of glass that make the image look crisp and beautiful. It's also why it takes that full second sometimes for the autofocus to search for the focus and actually pull it. So for lack of a better term, the focus on a video camera is called looser, sometimes sloppier, meaning not as detailed. And that's true, but it can grab the focus quickly. But the positive trade-off to using DSLRs and mirrorless cameras is that they are great for interviews because the person stays put and the image is beautiful. If you need to pan and tilt for some reason, they won't work well there. You'll get what's called a rolling shutter, which you'll see as this constant visual stuttering. In the end, it's worth getting one if you have the money. This day and age, I would recommend getting one that at least shoots 4K video. If you can afford it, get a full frame camera because the sensor is bigger, which means that more light is allowed inside, allowed to hit it. And the sensor is where all the magic happens. But at the end of the day, get the one that you can afford. And as of the making of this video, the Sony a7 III is by far the market leader for video. One of its strong points is that it does really well in low light. But here's some personal advice for you. I would honestly have you buy an action camera that can shoot 4K video before I'd recommend to you buying a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, because you also have a smartphone that can perform a similar function as a DSLR or mirrorless. It's just not nearly as artistic or of high of quality. But again, your audience isn't going to know, and we've certainly walked through together the advantages of having an action cam. If you have any questions at all about this, about what cameras or which ones you should buy when, or the pros and cons of any of these kinds, please feel free to reach out. And I'll see you in the next video.